In the last 15 years, there have been more than 7 deaths in UK waters due to enclosed spaces. Because of this, it is now a legal requirement that vessel owners risk assess enclosed spaces on board their vessel. We have made this video to keep you and your crew safe. A typical example of an enclosed space could be a chain locker, a paint store, or a steering compartment.
Hello, I'm Derek Carno and I'm a fisherman, and you're here today on our fishing vessel Grateful. But I also do the marine safety and training for the Scottish Fishermen's Federation. We've always had areas on board our boats that are classed as enclosed spaces. Some real traditional areas, but there's other areas that we need to be opening up our minds to try and find ways that we can risk assess these areas better to keep people safe. The most important aspect for us in the fishing industry is the importance that we risk assess any area that there's an activity going on which is defined as an enclosed space. We've got to look at all aspects of activity on board the boat, and depending on what we're doing, and just make sure that we are providing the crew a safe place to work in. And the NGN talks about an enclosed space as being areas that industry might not normally class an enclosed space. For us on this vessel, we're looking at RSW tanks, refrigerated seawater tanks, as being an enclosed space. And we've had to do risk assessments with the crew on these spaces. So we've did a normal operations entry into these RSW tanks, and then we've also did cleaning of these tanks, where the crew have had to go down with chemicals and do cleaning of these tanks, and we've done separate risk assessments for that. The new guidance out to us, it says that we should be avoiding enclosed spaces as much as possible, or avoiding enclosed spaces all the time. But as we know as a fisherman, there are spaces that we need to go into, and that's when it becomes really important for each individual fisherman and skipper owner to look at his vessel and look at these enclosed spaces, look at the definition of enclosed space and try and put it into their own vessel, and then make a suitable and sufficient risk assessment that covers that space for the safety of the crew. Sadly, it's a reality in the UK fishing industry that we still have too many fatalities, and some of those fatalities have come from entry into enclosed spaces. This new guidance that's came out is a stimulus for us in industry to look at all the enclosed spaces that we have on our vessels and to try and risk assess them to make them safer. And one of the things that we've came up with is to have a rescue bag which includes an oxygen supply for 15 minutes. These are ideal in a situation where someone needs to be rescued quickly. Another element that we've added into the vessel's risk assessment is that we have an oxygen meter. And the oxygen meter, we use it to measure especially the oxygen content in a tank before we do enter it, and specifically an RSW tank. We know it's not for everyone, but it's important that each individual vessel has its own risk assessment and it looks for areas where improvements can be made.
To find more information on enclosed spaces, go to the government website and search MGN 663.